You know, anytime you win going away like that, and look, I think Milwaukee's a really good team. I think they're going to win a lot of games in their league tonight. We obviously shot the ball well. Offensively, we were as good as we've been all year tonight. So, and with that being said, we still have a lot of room for improvement. You know, I mean, 19 offensive rebounds given up is something that's not acceptable. Gave up 11 threes against a team that we knew was a good shooting team. That's too many. So those are the two areas where, you know, I'm down in, because what I've got to do with these guys is make them understand that, you know, we can maybe get away with some things early in the season with our schedule that we're not going to be able to get away with as we move forward. And guess what? We're moving forward right now to a really good, well-coached Richmond team. I know nothing about their personnel, but you know, when we go down to Florida, it's going to be a different animal in both games, no matter what happens and who we play. So I'm pleased. I love how our veterans are playing. It was great to see Cody come out aggressive. I mean, he's obviously a special player. It's great to see R.J. Smith come off a redshirt year, you know, shoot the ball like he did and gain some confidence. So we got to keep getting better and not be satisfied with where we are. If we continue to do that, and share the ball, another 25 assists a night. It's a fun way to play. It's fun to watch as fans. It's sure even as media. It's sure fun as a coach. Your guys share the ball and move it.
Coach, I know Cody missed the game, but he just looked a lot more comfortable than the opener. I know how much of that is just, you know, it was his first game.
You'd have to ask Cody that. I mean, Cody's not the kind of kid that gets nervous. At least I don't think. But it was his first college game, and you know, the thing I love about him is he makes the right plays. And look, and KJ's been doing the same thing, like making the right simple plays. If you just do that, the game's pretty easy. And but I've seen Cody do that, you know, since I started coaching this summer. He just makes the right plays with the ball. But tonight he was aggressive, which is great. We want him to continue to be aggressive. We want all of our guys. We want to be an attack mode on offense, under control, take what the game gives you. That's really simple.
Tad, both Cody and KJ were talking about this with Eddie, his ability to kind of seal and create lanes for guys offensively. Is that kind of one of his more underrated skills? It's been on display the first 3 games. Is that one of his more underrated skills that benefits you guys?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, he's a force down there. He's somebody that they got to worry about. Nobody likes guarding him. I can promise you that. Like, I know that in practice. Like, nobody wants to guard Eddie in practice. Joe Hurlbert does a phenomenal job. You know, Greg, or big walk-on, Greg Earhart they do great jobs of banging and battling with him. But there's no opponents that want to guard that guy. So he created some double teams tonight. He's obviously a great passer. He likes to pass, and that's infectious. I think it doesn't start with him, but man. You have a post guy that's not a black hole down there that gets the ball and creates, and even from the high post area, he made a really nice, you know, bounce pass to KJ for a layup. So, yeah, Eddie's energy, his enthusiasm, and his presence, whether it's on the low block or just on the floor defensively, he's a great talker. He's really starting to come along, and you know, it's been hard for him because he's been out for so long. So, you know, there's a little rust on his game. There's no doubt.
Coach, with you guys playing well, the women playing well, and the buzz around Coach Sanders, how nice is it to be at Colorado right now?
Just it's a great time to be a Buff. There's no doubt about it. And you know, we're back to 2016, I think it was, when our football team was rock and roll. It was really fun. Obviously, what JR has done with her program and elevating it to national prominence is exciting. So, no, it's a great time to be a Buff. Danny Sanchez, the soccer team with the NCAA tournament. So we know what Coach Wetmore's always done with his program. So no, there's some high level athletes on our campus, and we've got some of them, but we're not. We don't have all of them. So it's a great time to be a Buff.
Coach, we saw you got a little bit animated during a late timeout. Is that partly about just kind of setting the bar pretty high with this?
Absolutely. I mean, we gave up like 5 threes, like in a 4 or 5 minute stretch. It felt like, and you know, the whole idea was to take away threes, and we had a lineup in there that was switching ball screens. And when you're switching ball screens, no way should you give up a 3. No way. I mean, transition, we talked about it, and you know, the kid number 3, Howell. on the scouting report, he's a shooter. He is a shooter. And we let that shooter make 5 threes. That can't happen. We helped out in the corner on him one time. You know, we missed switching opportunities. Like, we got to get better. And that, yeah, and that was building throughout the second half. So I just want these guys to know, like, down the road, we're going to run into teams like this that have a little bit more firepower inside than maybe Milwaukee had tonight, but also can shoot the 3. And so when we run into those teams, we better be ready to guard better.
BJ Freeman had 33 points in this last game,
Yeah.
but you guys held him to 9 points tonight. What was the kind of goal ambition around him?
Yeah, number one, we needed to do a good job collectively on him. Everybody, but Javon Hadley was phenomenal. He started on him. Luke O'Brien did a really good job, I thought, in the second half when he was on him and Javon was out. So credit goes to those 2 guys. Cody had him a few times, Tristan had him a few times, but he's a good player. But the key is he only got 12 shots up. He was 2 for 12. We just wanted to be everything, be tough. Just make him work for everything he gets. Because he's a good player. He's going to get some. But to hold him to single digits, that's not going to happen a lot, I don't think. This year, he's a good offensive player. They got a lot of good offensive players. That team's going to win a lot of games in their league. I really believe that. But time will tell. But I just watching them on tape. They play hard. They're tough. They can shoot it. They're good. So we played really well tonight.
As you mentioned, over 20 assists again tonight. You know, I know part of that's the guys are good passers and knocking down shots as well. But how much is a product of the new offensive approach?
Well,
5 out and moving the ball.
I think, Pat, that's a great question. I just mentioned it to Mark Johnson on the radio, that I think that might have a little bit something to do with it. I think our spacing is better, our cutting is better, our ball movement is better. We've got a presence inside with Eddie that they have to worry about, which helps spread the floor for everybody else. And our guys are just making the right plays. I mean, when you make the right plays and you make open shots, you got to get an assist. You got to have a good pass and a good shot, right? And the shot's got to go in. We talked last year about our ineffectiveness from the 3-point line. You know, as a team, I think you've seen some of those guys have really worked on their shooting. A guy like RJ comes in. You know, Cody made a couple threes tonight. Tristan's jumper's better. Luke's jumper's better. Javon Hadley's jumper's better. Julian is a good shooter. We've always known that. So, like, we've got multiple guys that can make threes. And when you have 6 guys in double figures, like we did against Grambling, we did tonight, and you share the ball, you're hard to guard. So part of it's the new offense. I think part of it's our players really improving their games in the offseason and buying into ball movement and spacing.
You take that 30,000 foot view here. Could you have really gotten much more out of these first 3 games, do you think?
I don't know. I mean, yeah, we could have held, you know, 6 offensive rebounds and 6 threes. We would have gotten, then I'd say, okay, I got nothing to bitch at.
And then beginning of the second half looked like maybe there was an emphasis to get Cody involved more as a ball handler. Was that kind of a focus?
Yeah, I think one of the things I talked to the team about, obviously we know KJ and Julian and RJ can play in ball screens, there's no doubt. But Tristan can also play in ball screens because he's 6'10", he can see over. And Cody is really good in ball screens because he's 6'7", 6'8", and he can make plays. And they both are such willing passers. Not that our guards aren't, but I think you know, we wanted, Cody had a matchup that we wanted to go at tonight, and we opened the game with it. We opened the second half with it, and he did a great job of finishing. You know, it's nice when you call a play for a guy and he finishes the play and makes the shot. That's a result of good players. So again, a lot of good things, but we cannot be satisfied.
Cody's big dunk came off the steal, and then his and one was a steal of his own doing in the first half.
Yep.
How pleased have you been with your team defense in the first half of these games? It's kind of allowed you guys to jump out to these big leads so far.
Especially with our veteran group, that group that starts, you know, top 7 guys, I'm really pleased. I think we drop off a little bit when we get past that. Although I think RJ Smith is a very capable, and I think he did a good job defensively tonight, but I think, you know, with freshmen, you're gonna have breakdowns. That's what makes Cody so special as a freshman, is defensively, he's like a veteran, you know. Some of those freshmen come in and they make freshman mistakes. So, you know, one of the reasons we brought Luke off the bench and we bring Julian off the bench is now when you sub in and you got some freshmen in there with them, those two guys are veterans. They know how to play. And, you know, just a little thing tonight, like, you know, Hassan was taking the ball out and we knew they were pressing. I think Julian and RJ were our guards and Luke came to get it. We turned it over. Well, Luke should have been taking the ball out. Now that's my fault for not catching it, but that's something our players got to understand. If Luke takes it out and Hassan's back, we probably won't have that turnover. So it's just those little things that we got to sharpen up and think about. But I love this team. I love coaching this team.
Coach, you played your first 3 games in 8 days here, so now you have a little bit of a lull
Yeah.
before going down to Florida. What becomes a challenge for this team? Obviously, keep the focus and
Yeah.
keep this going, take it down there.
I think number one, we're gonna take tomorrow off. You know, we practice in the morning first semester, as you guys know, so it's hard after a game like this to get them up at 7:30 in the morning or 7 a.m. to go practice. So we're taking tomorrow off. We'll reconvene on Thursday. We'll watch this film, things we need to get better at. We'll have good practice Thursday, good practice Friday, then we'll travel. We're practicing in Orlando on Saturday, and we've got to practice on Sunday, hook it up on Monday. So we've got 4 days of practice for us to get better. Do a lot of skill work, a lot of shooting, a lot of rehab, but we're gonna have to get after it a little bit too and keep our edge, keep our sharpness, keep our, guys are in pretty good shape, I think. So, yeah, we'll talk about that as a staff tomorrow.
Okay, thank you.